At the beginning of all my presentations, I do a little, I think it's 2 or 3 slides that just says who I am, some of the things I've done. So it gives people context when I'm talking, whether that be a seminar or a training event. I do these like 2 or 3 slides just to give people a quick overview. And somebody asked me a really interesting question. You know those questions where you didn't think about it in that way until somebody asked you, and then it brings a whole new context to it. So somebody asked me, I notice you've done quite a lot in fundraising, charity fundraising. And I said, yeah, I did quite a lot over years, whether it be crowdfunding work for companies or whether it be I actually worked for a large media organisation and took charge of some of their fundraising for a number of years. And somebody asked me, how do you do that and then do what you do today? And to me, it was a straightforward question, but sometimes you don't see the wood for the trees. I know I do sometimes in my world, and you probably do in your world. And often, this is a really interesting thing, we don't see the transferable nature of our skills to other areas. So in my example, fundraising, marketing, and strategy, they're all actually connected because you're trying to convey a message and compel somebody to take action. Whether it be fundraising and you're trying to demonstrate the value of a cause and why it's important and why somebody's financial support makes a difference to a cause, a people group, or whatever that is, or whether that's I'm selling a product and I want to show a potential consumer the benefits of it and how it can help them in their daily life, or whether it's me providing training and it's a training package on basically solving a problem a business has and how they get there. These are all common skills, which is understanding people and finding a way to communicate that, which is marketing. So my transferable skill is marketing and being able to think about those things and think of ways to actually implement things that will deliver a message and compel people to act, which is what I see marketing as in its broadest sense. But what this means for us is sometimes we don't see, sometimes you may not see, where your transferable skill could move into a completely different sector. Or your product could have a different application if it was repackaged for a particular audience. We call this niching, or if you're American, niching. But if you have widgets and your widget can be transferred into different packages for different sectors, that's where real value comes in, because you can resonate your offer with a niche market more succinctly, more clearly. You can communicate the benefits, more tailored benefits. So that little question for me about how have you been in fundraising and marketing and training really kind of made me think, well, actually, how do I explain that? So I explained that to the person at the event who was asking the question. But more importantly, I thought it highlighted a real point for businesses and for people looking for careers, that they're transferable skills, they're transferable services that can be moved from one element and into another element and tweaked and refined and can have a real world benefit and application in another area. And a friend of mine did a talk at one of our events, and he put it like this. He said, know your horizontal and own your vertical. I think that's what he said. But I took it away and thought, yeah, that's smart. We have our horizontal market, which can be, marketing. But then you can have your verticals and how that marketing applies. Or you can have your widgets. You make widgets. But then you can have how this widget applies to aerospace and how this widget applies to leisure and how it applies to here. And just by tailoring and tweaking, you can transplant that same offer into different sectors. but then it comes about making it relevant and communicating the benefits to those particular sectors. So my question really kind of was an interesting question, but it's more an interesting point for you guys that, as you're thinking about this, don't just think, oh, we want to sell to everybody. Find out ways that you can tailor what you're doing into different sectors. And a lot of the things that we do today can be easily transferred. It's just being smart about how you transfer them.